All right, we are going to do some extreme tail spinning. Now, you can see this in the background. My choice of music, Five Finger Death Punch. Yes, I am a metalhead. Sorry if I'm crushing any of your illusions about me, but it's truth and fact. So, the first thing we need to do is I've been working with my fast flyer on my Lendrum, spinning up this fine single, and we are going to switch from this to a tailspin. So that's like the extremes. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that when I come back to this, I'm not going to lose all my twist. So I'm going to like lots and lots and lots and lots of twist, and then fold it back on itself, let it ply back on itself. And that's going to contain the twist from running out the end of the yarn while it's in pause mode. And then I will just take that end and tuck it in. Now when I tuck it in, I just pull a loop through, but I hold on to the end. So when I come back to it, I just find that end sticking up, pull it out, thread it through, ready to go again. Now this is one of the reasons why I love my Lendrum. I want to switch from my regular flyer, fast flyer head to my jumbo. Oh, it's got a little lock stuck on it. So you can see the size difference and the orifice size difference is crazy. This is the regular and this is the bulky. You can stick your whole finger through there. Now this is why the Lendrum system is brilliant. Take your drive band off. There's a little knobby back here. Pop off that whole head. Set it aside. Take your plying head. Pop your little knobby back through. Screw it down. Tighten it up. Just hook it on the bottom of the wheel. Run it up. Hook it over your wheel. Whirl. And you're ready to spin with the bulky flyer. The Lendrum wheel to me is just brilliantly designed for ease of use. It's so easy to learn on. I just love my Lendrum. There is one other wheel I want to try, and that's the Spinolution, but that's sometime in the future. Now in this box I have prepared locks. These are locks that were too fluffy or pulled apart or whatever. So I just pulled them into a cloud, and I'm going to use that to get me started. Now for regular spinning, like the Plying head definitely bobbles around a bit. It does take a little bit of getting used to the feel, but I've been using it long enough that it don't bother me none. Now I just want to get enough of a leader to get like enough of a plain spun to get the leader onto the bobbin. So we have our fuzzy bit on there. So now we are ready to start. I'm going to grab a handful of locks. I'm going to lay them out on my knee. And I'm going to take the ends and kind of turn them into a Y. Because you need the fluffy ends to catch that twist. Make a little Y at the end. Why, you ask? I will show you. Dad jokes. That's enough to start with. Now, what we're going to do is pull off this, because we don't need that no more. Are we ready? Here's how it works. You take your lock and you grab one leg of the Y, come in at a 90-degree angle, and start spinning. Until you come to where that Y splits. Okay? Throw your lock forward so it doesn't get caught in the twist. Grab a little bit of fiber on the side. And there you go. Like magic, you now have the lock spin in. You want to work close to the orifice for this too. So then you take your next one. You grab your first leg. Make sure you don't catch your previous lock. Lay it on the side. Let it catch in that twist until it gets to the Y. Throw your lock forward. Grab just the side and pull. You have your V. Lay the fiber on the side. You can let a little of that twist just catch it. 90-degree angle, come into the where that Y is. Throw your lock forward. Grab just the side of it. And the reason you do that is what you're doing is you're going to cordless core spin this piece over your little bit of a tail here. There we go. Now you have secure locks hanging down from your center thread. Now, because this thread is actually made up of these locks, they're not going anywhere. They're secure. All right. Take your Y, first leg, let it wrap till you reach the center. Make sure you're not catching your previous locks. That's why I throw them forward. They'll wrap around and they won't get snagged. So here's my sneaky part. I have this little tail in here. I don't know if you can see it very well. Hold on. There's this little bit in here. This is the core that consists of the tail from this lock and this lock. So they are literally twisted together to here. Now I want to add this side, this leg, to this core. Now you can just spin onto it, but I find it doesn't secure the lock enough. If you throw the lock forward and then right here where your V is, just grab a little bit of that fiber and then that will lock the base of your lock, and then you can pull it down and pull it out. So what that does is it secures the base of your curl very well. So you don't end up with like your base spread like this, which will pull open the rest of the curl. Let's see if I can demonstrate that. All right, so we take the first leg. We start wrapping that on. We get to the V. Now if we just grab it and pull, you can see what happens. Is you get, see how that opens up? The base of the lock. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's certainly perfectly usable. I'm just very persnickety. Take your first leg. Now I got a lot of twist built up, so I'm just going to let some of the twist out a bit. Down to the V. Make sure your previous locks don't get stuck in there. Grab a little bit of the side fibers. Wrap them right at that split, then pull down. And this is why extreme tail spun takes a while to make. You're literally doing it one lock at a time. And I always find that prepping well ahead of time cuts down on wheel time. You really have to be committed to making this yarn. You will never feel more accomplished than when you make an extreme tail spun yarn. But it does take some doing. It is very time consuming. I say that everybody should try it once in their life, just for fun, just because you can, just to prove you can. And you'll be surprised at how smoothly it goes if you do your prep ahead of time. So again, fuzz out all the ends on your locks. Make your Ys. Okay, these ones are really fuzzy far down. I'm going to put them aside for lock spinning. And there is a difference between tail spun and lock spinning. Lock spinning, you're spinning from the locks. Tail spun, you are literally spinning the yarn from the tails. And you get the long locks hanging down. I've already combed the bases of all of these. I'll sit in front of the TV and do that. It's a great TV watching activity. Now, you can do this while you're spinning. You can just grab a lock, add it on. I just prefer to lay them out on my leg. And then that way I can also change my colors, select which colors I want to go next, if I want. I prefer the wild and woolly crazy look, so I don't worry too much about that. I'm just going to spin for a while and let you watch how it's done. All right, so I've been spinning for about 15 minutes. This is what I have. I'm going to just finish off this little bit with just some more regular fiber, just to give a bit of a leader. Oop, get those tips out of there. What I'm going to do is ply this. So I'm going to take that off the wheel, plop it on my lazy kit. I so love having the extra jumbo bobbin. Thanks, Mom. You're the best. Now for plying, I have this very bright pink thread. I don't know if I have, but it matches the pink that's in there. So I've plucked out one color of the palette, and I'm going to use that as my plying thread. And this is literally just 100% polyester embroidery thread. We spun clockwise or Z, so we're going to ply counterclockwise or S. So first thing we have to do, charge up our leader. All right, so we come to our first lock. Pull it out, hold it down to the side, and I want to kind of almost spiral ply this on till I get to the base of the lock. Then flip it over to the other side of the thread so it doesn't get stuck in the thread. So it goes ply up to, and then immediately after. And then we keep going. And we come to our next one. Now sometimes it goes better if you take your lock under, sometimes it goes better if you take your lock over. It's just a matter of futzing with it. Right, this one just wants to go over. I'm going to increase my uptake a bit. Now make sure that your tails don't get stuck in your plying. All right, so we're coming up to the base of a lock. So we go there, all the way up to the base, and then we flip the lock over and keep spinning. Come to the base of the lock, flip the lock up. Now if you've built up twist, then you can just let it run in. And most of the time you're probably going to have to hand wind this just to keep it manageable. So while we're paused, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull a bunch of these locks looser. They're going to wind again, but they'll wind loosely, so it's not a problem. Get to the base of the lock, flip it up and down. Base of the lock. Just make sure you're not catching your tips in the twist, that's all. So you get to the base of the lock, flip it up, and keep spinning. Now, if your locks look like this, how they're fluffy, you can pull it ahead so that tightens that up. Hold that there and use your thread to lock it in tighter. And then that kind of bunches it together so you don't get that V, because that V can cause weakness in your finished yarn. Flip it up, flip it up, and then we will hand wind that on. While we're stopped, we're going to go down and pull our locks loose. This one, I think, got tangled in the twist, but we can fix that. There we go. All right, back to plying. Flip those out of the way. Flip it up. Down to the next one. Flip it up. Down to the next one. Flip it up. Flip it up. All right. And now we're going to hand wind this on. While we're paused, we're going to pull all our locks loose. And back.
I've got my nitty naughty. Now this is a 2-yard nitty naughty. So I will count my rounds. 1, so that's 2, that's about 3 yards of tailspin. So it took me about another 15 minutes to ply it, to set up and to ply. And 15 minutes to spin that. And all we have to show for it is about 3 yards. Now, I'm not telling you this to discourage you from doing it, because I think everybody should do it. I think it just turns out so beautiful and amazing, and you cannot commercially make this. It just won't work, because you need to be able to manipulate with your fingers, actual people hands, and use your actual people brain to see how the locks are going into the fiber. But here's the good part. It's fun. I mean, it requires some patience, yes, but it is fun and unique and gorgeous and such a lovely way to use these silky locks. So just know going in, it's going to take you a little while, but have fun with it. Enjoy the process. Look at the locks as you're working with them. Like, actually feel them in your hands. Feel that fiber. Like, make it an entire experience. And I think you'll find it's so much fun to do. And then when you have this gorgeous yarn, you can start creating unique things. Now, I used a lot of tailspun and textured yarn in this shawl, but you could do like literally 1 or 2 rows along the base of the shawl and get this wonderful texture. Like, I put this on the back of my couch and I just sit there and I pet it and I play with the curls, and it's actually kind of soothing. It's very fun, and I think it is absolutely gorgeous. So to me, it's worth the work. And even if you don't have extreme locks, maybe you only have locks this long, or maybe, this long, you can tailspin with those too. Just try it.
I can't say it enough. Just try it. It's such an experience. And as spinners, I think it's one of our more unique experiences to be able to make this. So that's the video for today. Next one, we're going to work lock spun as opposed to tail spun, and we will work with the same Masham fleece, and we will make some more yarn. So thanks for joining me. If you like this, do the stuff below. You know, if you like this kind of stuff, well, that's what I do. And I will see you next time. Bye.